Culling. That is going to move him into the number 2 position in the round. Culling.
All right, welcome everybody to the CFR Hot Stoves with Ted and Wasey. We'd like to welcome to the stage, he's the world champ of Wi-Fi, doesn't get up earlier than 8 a.m., and he prefers talk radio, Ted Stoven.
All right, here we are, day 3, Canadian Finals Rodeo, and I got to welcome my co-host, Wasey Anderson. He's the downtown division of everything cowboy and cowboy shit. My co-host, Wasey Anderson. Please welcome to the stage. Thanks, everybody. Okay, then I guess we'll get right into our guest this afternoon.
Did you do a little recap of last night?
Yeah, I guess so, eh? So,
good rodeo.
Yeah, it was your first perf you got to see. You were actually on, you had to work on Wednesday night, so you missed the perf. Got here last night. We actually sat in some seats for a while. We sat with my dad and my brother for a bit.
Got to watch a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I have more of an idea of what happened, which is great for me.
The new seats at Westerner Park here at the PV Mart Centrium, very nice.
Can
very
confirm
comfortable.
they're very comfy.
Yeah, very nice seats. So it was a great rodeo, though. A couple of highlights.
Couple of the old guys did good. Jake Vold.
He's not that old.
Jake Vold and Sam Keltz. Some of the wily veterans of the crew.
Sam Keltz gets the win. Nick Tetz, second CFR, he gets the win in the bull ride. And on the timed event side, we had Eric DeBlanco, 8-1, wins the tie-down roping.
T. McLeod, Brady Chappell.
Yeah, the second round win in a row. Lisa Zahota wins the barrel racing.
Heck of a night of rodeo.
We're missing one. Steer wrestling.
No, it wasn't Eric DeBlanco?
No, he's a bulldog. He's a tie-down roper, man.
I'm a roughie.
You are not paying attention. No, in the steer wrestling last night, it was...
you were on the stage. You gave him the buckle.
Yeah, but I'm blanking out right now. This is bad. Anyways, I guess we should get to the show.
Yeah, let's get going.
It'll come to me here in the middle of one of these things, I'm sure. But let's get going here. All right, this is day 3 of the CFR Athlete Hot Stove. She's a 3-time champion in the Grand Canyon region of the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association and the 2021 CPRA season leader in the breakaway roping. From Nanton, Alberta, please welcome Lakota Bird.
All right, up next we have, he is the 2017 Canadian champion tie-down roper. He has also owned the past 2 tie-down roping horses of the year, TJ and Peso, and he's Lakota's brother. Welcome to the stage, the 2021 tie-down roping season leader, Logan Bird.
With 11 qualifications to the Canadian Finals Rodeo and 3 Canadian titles, he's made his way to the Wrangler, NFR, in Las Vegas on 3 separate occasions. A Ponoka man now hailing from Carstairs, Alberta. Please welcome Jake. For joining us 3:30 this afternoon here on day 3 of the 2021 Canadian Finals Rodeo. Wasey, let's leave it to you to kick it off. Put you on the spot here a little bit.
All right, Logan, 2021 season leader. Week hasn't got off to the start that you're wanting to. What's the strategy heading into the last few rounds here?
It's the same. It's catch 'em, tie 'em down. It's been not too bad. I think I still have a lead monetarily in the money, and I'm sitting 3rd in the average, so I feel like I'm in a good spot. Still in the driver's seat, just don't make mistakes and let it fall where it may.
Let's talk about the horsepower side of things. You obviously boast pretty powerful horses in this event. Like, how big of a factor does that play in your performance in the arena?
Oh, it's huge. I have, Peso is what I've been riding this year, and, I know he's going to do his job, and I know I'm going to catch up and get a good throw no matter what, so I don't have to try to be on the barrier or break the barrier. I can just let him out there safe where I know I'm going to get out every time, run in the middle, and I should be able to catch every single one, hopefully, the way it feels. So I feel like I have an advantage, and as we go, the calves are going to get faster here, so it's just going to play into my hands more and more as it goes.
We'll get back to that in a minute here, but I want to ask Lakota, what's it been like these last 2 days, just waiting? Like, you're probably getting pretty eager to get out there and get roping after getting here on Tuesday, but you don't even get to start till tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty eager. Pretty much just been doing my hair and talking walking for the last couple of days. I'm ready to. I went home, ran a couple yesterday, so I'm ready to rope.
Back to Nanton, back home.
Yeah, I
first
went
to practice?
home yesterday, got my horse, and ran some calves. Thought I might have forgot how to rope in the last 4 days, so thought I better run a couple. And yeah, we get to start tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited.
Jake, we had you up here on the stage last night, and Steph in the back's actually got your ride for us last night. We get to do this over and try it again. So we're gonna get that highlight from the bareback riding last night up on our screen. Let's talk through this ride first off.
Young horse of Bruce Sundstrom's. I had a pretty good game plan set up, and I messed up right off the bat, but it looked better than it felt, honestly. But one of them deals, you can see right here, I was going to pick this horse up, and I put a spur on his neck and dropped my foot, and didn't keep the hold I wanted, and then it was just kind of go with it from there. But you know what? It worked out. I just kind of bared down, hustled through it, and I'm fortunate enough to take the win. So.
And you're saying you put a leg on her neck, like you were actually, like, tell me if I'm wrong here, but were you a little bit behind there for a little, like you're trying to catch up a little bit, or
well,
is that what you're saying? What happened?
Yeah, you miss a hold, and that horse can be really good and really jam up. And if there was a chance to be 90, that was the one to have. And it worked out. Nobody would know it if I didn't say it, but
yeah.
I knew it right away.
But the goal is to beat that horse's front feet to the ground, and you were kind of with her a little bit rather than that first jump you were there, but then she kind of got you.
Well, that first jump when she jumped 4 feet in the air, if I could have kept a hold of her, we might have had a few more like that, and
yeah,
it could have been really good.
And so instead of a 24 ride on from each jed, you might have been a 22 kind of thing, and on a 19, same kind of thing. Just those extra couple points though could have been that 90 is what you're saying. That's the difference coming from a guy like you that, even as a guy that's watched this sport for quite a few years, that's the difference that the judges catch.
Yep. Yeah, if they're paying attention, yeah.
Which everybody seemed to be, except Perry got wiped out there at one point.
Right before I went, so yeah, it was, maybe that's why I won the round. I don't know.
I think I saw Cam jump in there and judge for a while. Did he was he the emergency backup judge? There's 6 judges here at the CFR, but did somebody else have to mark a few, or what? Like, what went down there while Perry was there?
I have no idea. I had my hand in my rigging, and all of a sudden everyone crossed my chute, and I was just trying to keep that horse calm. He's pretty colty, and he's young, and just trying to make sure I don't get in a bind in there, and he's freaking out or something. So, but yeah, when I looked over, Perry was laying there, and his eyes rolled in the back of his head. And,
oh, geez.
He didn't look too good. I thought, oh, shit.
Yeah, that judging shit's dangerous, eh? Holy.
Somebody wake him up.
Lakota, as Ted mentioned, you've kind of been sitting around waiting to rope. Do you find yourself watching your brother and giving him critiques after each run, or you kind of just sit back and let him do his thing?
He doesn't take critiques from me very much. I asked him why I didn't catch the front leg in the first round, and he didn't like that.
Have you guys ever had like a match against each other? Because I know Lakota's a pretty handy tie-down roper. I remember I entered the Night Rodeo a few times, and she beat me more than I could ever imagine.
So it's been a few years, but we matched rope and touch once. I thought I had a chance to win. It was a 3-header. I think she was maybe 5, 6, and 5. So needless to say, I lost.
Oh, so she really, honestly, she could be giving you critiques throughout the week then.
I think I definitely do more critiquing of her than she does of me.
So for both of you guys, your dad also raises a ton of timed event stock. How much has that played into what you guys have done and accomplished to this point?
It helps a lot just because more than anything else, we have a lot of calves to practice on. So we can run as many as we want, and we always have something different to rope. A lot of people that have 4 or 5 calves, so they'll have their one calf that goes left, and they know exactly what's coming. We'll rope different calves all the time, so when we practice, it's kind of like a rodeo. They don't have very many runs, and they may go left or they may go right. We really don't know, just the same as when you're back in the rodeo, whereas, like I said, most people, they'll practice on the same stuff. It's the exact same pattern with their 5 calves they rope 6 times a week, so that's an advantage. And then as far as when you get to the rodeo, I feel like I know what's coming, but I feel like I try to do that with everybody's calves. I've figured out over the years that I've won almost just as much on Troy Hobbs' calves as my own or anybody else, because after they go to a couple rodeos, we know them, and we really don't rope the rodeo calves during the week much. So that part, I don't think has a huge difference.
Well, and has that had a huge effect on the great horses you've built too, like having that variety of stock to practice on as well?
Oh yeah, like, so we can take the really slow ones, always have slow calves to start our colts on, which is a key, and build up from there. We always have the calf that we need for the horse, and that's huge, especially in your beginning 3 months or beginning stages of training a horse is all about, you know, the right type of animal, and we always have that at our disposal, and that's huge. It's probably more of an advantage in the horse training than it is in the roping, in my opinion.
Talk about how much having the, like, we're talking about this that way, but the tie-down roping, there's a bit of differentiate between the guys that get to rope the most. The guys that get to rope year-round have an advantage over those that only get to rope, you know, in the summer up here. Talk about that and spending the time down south now in the winter times as well for keeping yourself at that top level all year long.
Oh yeah, well, there's so much timing that goes into tie-down roping. So, you know, when you're here in the winter, you're taking a lot of time off. You know, you're running big, old, slow calves. If you are roping, it's cold. It's hard to get better. When you get to go south and run a lot of calves for the whole winter, you just stay sharp. You keep going to jackpots and competition. You know, with the COVID year, there was, I thought, a huge difference between the people that went south to rodeo and when you got back. Like, there in early July when the rodeo started, the calf roping, it got a lot better towards the end of the year, but it was really soft in the beginning, and a lot of that was just, I mean, people hadn't been to rodeos in 16 months or whatever it was, and they were rusty, and it showed, I thought.
Your horses have been to the NFR. What's it going to take for you to get there?
Oh, I don't know. It's going to take me going to more than 50 rodeos, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know.
Sorry, continue, yeah.
I've just never really made it a goal of mine, you know, with the horse training. I stay in Arizona in the winter and train my horses for most of the winter, and then I come back here and we do the stock contracting thing, and I like to rope. You know, Jake would know better than me, but to go make the NFR, it's a full-time job. Like, I feel like you're gone from April till September. You leave your house and you don't come back. And I've just never been really ready to make that sacrifice where I don't deal with the cattle, don't ride my horses for that long. So whether I could make it or not, I don't know. I'm not saying that, but I've never even went and tried to go to that many rodeos. It's so much traveling. I went over the 4th of July this year for the first time, and it's a grind. I have respect. Those guys that go to that many rodeos, and it's hard to do. You make the NFR, you deserve it.
I want to talk about the house thing too, but we got to get to Lakota and Jake too. So
Yeah,
please
Jake,
proceed.
you mentioned as we were going over that ride, you kind of had a game plan going into that horse last night. Is that something you do every horse you go at? Because I know in the bull riding, if you start making a game plan, that's when things starts going sideways. So is it kind of different when it comes to bucking horses?
You know what? Yeah, a little bit. I don't have a game plan for the whole ride. It's always a game plan just for the start, and I try to do the same thing every time and help these horses get a good hold of them and really try to help them that first couple jumps. And you know, when you get a young horse like that, and you can definitely kind of, it's up to you to do your job right to make them better too. And yeah, I don't know, like that's pretty much the game plan. It's not like I got to jump for jump.
Well, it's something that's overlooked though. Is like your start is ever important as like what it is for the horse. Like you said, you missed a few licks, and that could have been much better had your feet been in the right place. Like that's something that can set you up to be 90 versus 85.
Yeah, it's yeah, you know, like I said, it's just it is my job to do that. Sometimes you don't have to, but when you got a young horse like that, I think that's just a 6-year-old. This is kind of his first time to the big lights. He got hold this summer a bit, and you know they're kind of nervous. He was watchy and stuff, but he was kind of bucking in there, not trying to smash me, but he kept rearing up and stuff. But he was just nervous too, and so sometimes if you can use that iron on your feet to maybe just steer them a little bit first, take their mind off the crowd or the noise or whatever, and then they continue on and do what they're meant to do. So,
Lakota, I got to bring up something that you might not be happy about, but we were 13th in the barrel racing this year to make 2 events, and You actually, a couple years ago in High River, won the all-around title. So would you have technically been qualified for the all-around having qualified in both events, or is it didn't you compete against Jared for the all-around this year already? Anyways, what's the story there?
The breakaway is not counting for the all-around. It's still a minor event, so it doesn't count. So had I made the barrels, I wouldn't be eligible for the all-around. Hopefully, maybe that was something that changes in the future if breakaway grows a little bit. And yeah, High River in 2019, they included the breakaway for the all-around. It was a buckle. The committee just gave it based on their criteria. It wasn't the CPRA. So the Guy Weedick Days committee decided to include the breakaway for the all-around buckle, and I did end up placing in both and winning that.
So Nellie Miller won the all-around in Red Bluff. Was that a committee award too, or I actually don't know. What's the ruling on the all-around for two ladies events in the PRCA right now?
It's not, because breakaway roping and the barrel racing are both WPRA events.
That's right.
So it's different. There is an all-around in the WPRA. Same thing. It's just a committee. The committee can decide to hand out the all-around, their prize at their rodeo, however they wish. Some committees include the breakaway roping, and yeah, Nellie Miller did win it at Red Bluff.
So talk about being 13th though. Would have been outstanding to be. Well, you would have been the first lady to compete in two events at the CFR. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for lack of a better word, it sucked. Every year and every event, somebody's 13th. So I'm not the first person to be the first one out. But yeah, it's not fun, and I think it was less than $200. And there's some rodeos that got canceled there at the end. So it was tough. I was in the top 12 pretty much all year and got bumped out at the end. So it was hard to take, but being here in the breakaway definitely softens the blow. I at least still get to be a contestant, still get to be a part of it. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of fun watching the barrels though.
Well, and you actually had there was some places or some parts to it where you had some horses in different spots, and some were ready, some weren't, and there was your best horse was actually in the best shape right around time of Olds in Edmonton when they were supposed to happen, and they get canceled the week of.
Yeah, it was a little rough. I missed two Canadian. I missed TP Creek and Bode in both because I was making the tour finals in the States, so I was trying to break way up down there, and I missed a couple rodeos up here. So, I could have easily not placed at either those rodeos, but I could easily have placed two. Could have made the difference. So, it's hard to split your time, and I just, a lot of things could have gone different to win that $200, but didn't work out.
Well, and so as far as the goals go, you're talking about Logan taking a run at Vegas. Talk about where that ended up for you, or what your plans might be moving forward.
I ended up 32nd in the world in the breakaway this year, so that'll get me into Fort Worth this winter, and I think it'll get me into Houston too. So that's gonna be cool. I'll go to those and kind of see how the winter rodeos go and make a plan from there. It's really hard to do both. So next year I'm gonna kind of see where I am in the spring, and I'll either try to make the Canadian finals in the barrels and the breakaway, or try to make the finals down there in the breakaway. I don't really think it's feasible to try to do both.
Unless they have this rodeo count where you can make it on 2 rodeos next year, right? Jake likes that rule.
If I have anything to say about it, we'll have a rodeo count in the breakaway, because I don't want Jackie Crawford to come win Strathmore and make the finals.
Well, talk about that. The breakaway is kind of the first full season of being included at these big rodeos. How important is that for the event and to be able to compete here at the CFR?
It's amazing, really. I did not think it would ever happen. Even the last CFR we had in 2019, if you would have told me I was roping at the CFR next year, I would have laughed. The CPR has been great. Randa Nugent especially has done a lot to get us in. The breakaway ropers have really advocated for ourselves. We raised all our own prize money. The CPRA pretty much said, you can run calves here, handle the rest. And so a lot of girls have come together. My parents have both helped us get it in a lot. And so we've kind of had to be our own advocates, but we're grateful for the opportunity, and hopefully we can be an asset to the association and be an asset to the CFR and keep growing.
Jake, it was kind of a different season for you. You had a long break, due to COVID and everything else, but you kind of mentioned how you're feeling better now than you did over the summer. Talk about the journey from then till now.
Yeah, I guess COVID and all that crap. I ended up taking a year and a half off, so started up here in Medicine Hat. Kind of planned on going a little harder, but it was honestly a little tougher coming back than I thought it would be. I started working at it in January, and I made sure I got on a pretty strict 6-month program before I stepped over one again. But yeah, it was funny. I had 4 practices lined up. Everything kept falling through, and anyways, here come Medicine Hat around the corner, and so I just went there, and fortunate enough, ended up got the win there in the first one. But it beat the hell out of me, and I ended up turning out for the next week. And it seemed like that was the case. Like I was trying some new rigging, some different stuff, and I don't know why. Like, I'm too old to be trying that shit. But anyways, yeah, just the way the summer went. I only went to 6. Fortunate enough to sneak back into here. Changed some things up, went back to my old stuff and my old routines, and yeah, I've only been on a couple so far, but I do feel pretty good. So.
And what's the plan moving forward? I was looking up and I forgot your birthday, but you're 34 now. In the bareback riding side of things, that's, we talked about it back when we did the show a while ago, and we weren't sure where you were going to be at kind of thing, and you didn't really, you didn't really know where you were at with it. What's the plan from here? Are we looking to get back at it again next spring? You don't have any qualifications now to go back that way, but like go to south of the border. But what's the plan?
The plan right now is just to just really hustle through here, or do good here at the CFR. That's the plan right now.
Yeah.
I didn't have any idea really. I just kind of come in here. I didn't have any too lofty goals. I just wanted to come here and ride 6 head solid and let things be and just come back to have some fun and kind of reminded myself of the first time I made it here. I had no goals. I was just so excited to be here and just go have some fun and it worked out good for me. I've been caught up in that when I was younger, to come in here and you set your goals pretty high, and it's not that they're not reachable, but sometimes you get caught up in all that. And you know what? I go at every round to win first place, and I've learned that's the best for me. I don't think of anything else, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's my plan right now.
Well, like Teddy said, it's nice when you can sneak in with the 6 rodeos, a bit less of a rodeo count. It kind of fits the Jake Vold program we touched on when we did the interview a few weeks back.
Yeah.
I was looking at the back numbers, and I saw Kays Thompson has $0 counting towards the back numbers because I think he won his money at Pollockville.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yep.
That would have been too bad they didn't have the bareback ride, and we could have just went to that one and just see it at the finals.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Want me to go?
Yeah, give it a
Okay. Having been to the final, like to Vegas on 3 separate occasions, what advice? I know it's different on the time event side of things, but what advice would you give these two, if that's something that you're pursuing, right, Lakota? That is a plan to ideally be at the finals. It's got to be a plan on the breakaway side, right?
Potentially.
Potentially, maybe not. And Logan, we talked. You're mentioning it. It hasn't been a goal. Is it a goal at some point, or is it on your radar? Or are you happy up this way?
Honestly, probably not.
Yeah, really.
I'm happy to be. I'm not the best roper in the world. I do consider myself the best horse trainer in the world right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on mostly. Come to these Canadian rodeos, try to win Canadian titles.
Yeah.
Not drive too far.
Well,
and that's what.
So I'm going to stay on this train now because I got in a bit of a Twitter feud with Keith Ryan Cartwright in the last few weeks because Dakota Butter declined his invite to the PBR's Velocity Tour finals, which was during Saskatoon last weekend, and the World Finals started on Wednesday night. So through the Velocity Tour, he got an invite as the Canadian top season leader so far. He turned it down because Saskatoon was one of our top tour events, and he can win $100,000 next week in Edmonton. But he turned it down, and Keith was saying, well, why would you turn down the World Finals? And I said, well, honestly, some people are happy to stay in Canada and pursue their goals here. We have a great set of rodeos, a great set of events now, and it pays great. It costs less for getting down the road. So I totally understand it. It makes total sense.
You can go home every week. There's not many of us, but Cody Cassidy would be another one that I would say is world-class bulldogger. Could go make the NFR, but he's a family man. He goes. I love it up here. You can go to 2 rodeos a weekend and go home during the week. It's not so much. It's just that being gone 6 or 7 months, I just haven't found the desire to pursue that.
That's fair. I respect that. I'm curious, and I'm glad I asked. But also between the two of you and your entire family, your mom Shauna and dad Maynard, you guys built yourself a new house this last year too. So you probably got to get moved in and get ready for the winter before you go back to Arizona as well.
So just on last Friday, we had it inspected. So you can move in.
Did it pass?
Now.
Did you guys
Passed.
make it? Yeah. Oh, nice.
Passed. We just can't live in the basement yet. The basement isn't done.
Okay.
But that's my whole family there in the front row. Basically, half the people in here at least.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Almost almost all of them built more of my house than me.
Yeah, I heard you weren't
Let's-
around a lot. I heard it was mostly
so
our.
we got Strand, Blake, Justin, my dad on the framing, and I broke my hand last summer, so when we started building the basement, I was out there one-handed. I was trying to be helpful, but
That's convenient time to break your hand.
it was mostly them doing the basement, and then as it got going, my mom and my grandma painted it. My grandpa would help me with whatever needed to be done. Really, it was a family effort. Really, we built it, and it's actually turned out to be a pretty nice house.
How many family fights happened during the house building?
Maynard yelled at a few people, I'm sure, but outside of that, it wasn't too bad.
Family fights fewer than Sean and Maynard fights.
Well, I remember being at the store the other day, Cowboy Country in Nanton, for those that might not know, and we were talking about, Sean and I were talking about the rock on the fireplace, on the mantle, because you got to have a nice spot for your bronzes, right?
Yeah, Sean has really designed the house more than anything else.
Do we need to give you a mic, Shauna? We can
Yeah.
pass you one if you need.
So,
Any comments?
you know, I came in, I'm like, what is that? She's like, oh, that's your mantle. I didn't even know it was going in, anything like that. But yeah, that's where we keep the bronzes, and then on the stairwell we have a cool painting, and we call it the house that TJ built.
Oh, yeah.
Because he financed it mostly. Mostly TJ paid for the house. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So tell me, do you have a number in your head on how much TJ has won? Like, is there, like, he's got to be a couple $1 million in earnings by now.
1.1 million.
1.1.
It's a little over that, but roughly 1.1 million.
Wow, so far, and because he's got a few years, a few left, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting up there, but Shane Hanchy is winning the world right now on him, and he'll be riding him at the NFR this December, so hopefully he gets
Is that news to you, Lakota?
No, but whatever just went through here was news to me and Shan.
Well, Jake, you kind of got yourself into a bit of a side business too on the buffalo side of things. Talk a bit about that and how that started.
V3 Bison.
Oh, yeah, Dad and my brother and I, we got a bison feedlot or whatever, and we do lots of export. But yeah, the V3 bison thing is just kind of a meat deal on the side, just kind of playing with it right now and seeing. It's been pretty good. It's more just me, I guess. But yeah, just playing with it for right now. Everyone's kind of wanting to get into the more of the homegrown stuff. So,
How would you compare handling buffalo versus cattle?
you know, these
They're
days,
all
little
Pinelka
Western.
too, aren't they? Like you don't have to see them too much.
no, they're not bad at all. You know what? And we got a pretty good handling facility there, and we've been modifying it here quite a bit. And you know, I'll tell you what, I'd rather handle buffalo now half the time than over beef. Yeah, honestly.
We had some of the tenderloins the other night before we came up here. So I'm a proud customer of V3 Bison and would recommend. If there was a Google rating system, I give you 5 stars out of 5.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, we've definitely
Reviews, check them out.
consumed some V3 Bison a while ago,
Yeah.
but
Good stuff, isn't it?
yeah, really
Yeah.
nice stuff. And so talk about the bison side of things though. It's a different kind of it's a leaner meat as well.
Yeah, the way we do it, or the way I do it, I barley finish everything, so you get that lean meat, but you still get that white fat on it, and that's preferably my taste. You know, you live once in this damn world, and I like to eat, so I'm going to eat good. I'm not going to eat any of that grass-fed stuff. So.
I gotta ask you, Jake. I think you were in the high school rodeo side of things. Like last year was my first year kind of thing. Like we
Yep.
overlapped a little bit. If I remember right, didn't you dabble on the time event side of things a little bit, or is that all roadie? Am I remembering wrong?
No, I roped calves, team roped in bulldog too.
You
all
did?
through high school, yep.
So what was your experience on the time event side of things?
You know, I loved roping calves and bulldogging, and team roping too. That was my thing. But you know, I always wanted to ride bucking horses, and I started off riding broncs, and that was pretty hit and miss for a long time there. And then once I decided, I was 18 until I started riding bareback horses, and it just kind of clicked like right away, like there was nothing. And then, anyways, went on to college and still did the time events a little bit, but just really weeded it out and kind of stuck to the rough stock. And by the time college was done, I was just riding bareback horses, and yeah, just went from there.
I gotta ask Lakota and Logan, what's your experience on the rough stock side of things?
Cow riding in the night rodeo.
I fall off every time one buck Logan makes fun of me. I have a bit of a reputation for it.
No, it's true. Like, we'll have a pretty gentle, we go through 25 horses a year and we'll sell 20 of them and get 25 new ones. So there's always one or two that'll do something. And I mean, they crow hop at all. She's down.
And is this an actual buck off or is this bailing? Is this self-preservation?
Sometimes both. It could be either.
It's turned into self-preservation because I got actually bucked off enough times.
Yeah.
Then now if they crow hop, I'm out. I'm like, you're up.
There was one last year that I'm like, my God, how did you fall off that?
I actually sold one to my little cousin that's sitting right there, breakaway horse, and he would my practice horse, and I almost died one time. Landed right on my head.
I thought she was dead. She goes down there, lands straight on her head, just feet straight up in the air.
Full scorpion.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But our rough stock, not very much. I think I fell off a sheep when I was 3, and that was enough for me.
I want to dive back into the horse training side of things. What do the days look like? How many horses are you riding? How many are you working on right now? What are some new prospects? Give us the lowdown.
So I had a few pretty good ones. I sold my 3rd and 4th best ones this summer. So we pretty much started all over. I think we're taking 30 to Arizona next week.
Holy smokes.
And 3 or 4 of them are going. I have 2 4-year-olds that are pretty good that they're actually roping the extras on here at the rodeo. And outside of that, we're looking at really pretty green ones. We're just roping slow calves. I think we've started, since August, I've tied down in about 12 new ones. And as far as a day-to-day thing, depends on how much help I have, but I'll try to ride 10 to 15 a day. If Lakota's there, saddling and warming them up for me, I might be able to get 15. If it's just me, 10. So that's kind of...
I'm the resident barn girl.
How
He
much?
usually lets me run one on each horse.
So how much of your training success comes from your sister?
Oh, a bit. It's like...
That's more than I thought I'd get.
mostly it comes from my dad. Really, Lakota is like the monkey where you know whether the horse is good enough for a new person or not, right? I get on him, I'm like, ooh, this horse is pretty good. And then I'll be like, Lakota, you rope one. And it might look completely lost where they're piling it. I'm like, oh, not ready yet. Take it back. Or it might look pretty good, and I'm like, oh, it's about ready for someone else to ride. If Lakota can ride it, then anyone can, mostly.
I got to ask one more piece on this. You made the comment that you think you're the best horse trainer in the world right now on the title roping side of things. What does it take to make that statement? And how do you elevate yourself to that upper echelon in that side of things?
Well, it's self-proclaimed for sure.
So it might be partially bullshit, but it was maybe.
But I mean, I feel like I have 2 of the best 5 horses on earth right now. Morgan Grant is riding one here that I trained. Kirk Robinson just bought one from me that would be on the better end of the horses in Canada that I trained. I feel like the ones I have come faster than most other people's. Even the 2 4-year-olds I've started had a few months on them. They're roping the extras here and they're doing pretty good. So I think I could safely say, I think everyone would agree that I'm as good as there is in Canada. I'm sure there's some Americans that would fight me on it, but I feel like if you don't think you're the best, then it's hard.
You said you sold number 3 and 4. Did one of those go to Kirk, or did those 2 go somewhere else?
One went to Kirk and one went to Steel the Pulley.
Okay, right on. I like it. Go ahead, Waze.
Lakota, I wanted to ask about with the success of the WCRA and the amount of money they paid out, especially in the breakaway roping. Is that something that's on the radar for you coming up next season?
The WCRA, you have to pay into the WCRA to qualify, and honestly, it's not something I've ever done. It's a cool association, it's a cool idea, but I have a real job, and I break rope, and I barrel race, and I'm kind of maxed out already. So I like going to pro rodeos in the States, had some success there this year, and obviously I like rodeoing in Canada. So honestly, the pro rodeos are kind of my main focus right now, and 2 events, and that keeps me pretty busy.
Talk about your real job a little bit, and let's talk about the store a little bit as well. You guys grew up around that place.
I have an accounting degree, and I do the accounting for the store and a few other accounts, and it keeps me busy. We have a cloud-based system, so I can do a lot of it while I'm on the road, which is great because I'm really not good at just hanging out. Logan's a lot better at just hanging out than I am. And yeah, it keeps me busy. My mom is great because she picks up the slack when I'm gone, which is a lot, especially this year. But yeah, it's nice to have a paycheck that you know is coming the end of each month.
Did Shauna fight you on the cloud-based system or no?
A lot, yeah. I think she's okay with it now, but she hated me for a while. She don't like change.
Damn technology. How do you find balance between all that, having the real job, helping your brother, competing in 2 events every weekend? It's a lot on your plate.
It's a lot. I don't like doing nothing anyway. So I'm usually just stay busy and I fit in everything I can, and I have a lot of people in my corner. I'll go to work and get home, and Logan and I will rope. So he's good about leaving in the strong calves for me to run at the end, or whatever we need to do for me. I'll be able to run some that day. And my mom, she does a ton for me. If I'm rodeoing in the States, she'll keep my barrel horse in shape. My traveling partner, Riata Slusher, she's also my cousin, hauled my barrel horse to the rodeos that I was coming straight from the States, was just my breakaway horse. She traded me at rodeos, so it's definitely not something you can do by yourself, and I have a great support system.
We haven't talked about the college side of things yet. As far as the college rodeos went, with the accounting part, you can, with being in the cloud now, that means you could access it from anywhere. When you're sitting at a perf or you're on the road, like you can kind of do it from anywhere, which makes that also very convenient to be able to still work while you're gone.
Yeah, for sure. I end up usually at a Starbucks with Wi-Fi or in the stands during Slack working or while we're driving or anything, and it's good. Logan and I, we left Arizona at the beginning of June, and we rodeoed all over the States, and we came back July 7th or 8th back to Canada. So we just lived on the road and gave me something to do during our downtime, and yeah, it's definitely nice to have something to do on the road, because that's a hard part about rodeoing too, is there's a lot of downtime and a lot of driving.
The college rodeos, go back to that. How awesome was it to be able to go to the college finals at least 3 times, maybe 4, and get that degree that was paid for by your rodeo?
Yeah, that's a great thing about rodeo is if you do well and you're able to get a scholarship, you can come out of there without any student loans and start, that it gives you the opportunity to be able to, if rodeo and if you're successful, get an education as well.
What made you choose accounting? I know I took a few accounting courses at university, and I absolutely hated them. Was there some pressure from mom and dad to help the store out, or?
No, I'm a straight math geek. I was going to be an engineer if I wasn't an accountant. I was a nerd in high school big time. Ask Brad Natwood about it. I helped him.
Did you do his homework?
No, I didn't do his homework, but I let him cheat off my test. I was nice. I'd slide it to the corner so him and Tristan Woolsey both don't be graduating.
Those 2 guys
Dash
know how
one
they
math.
can get.
Yeah.
We better, I think I was just looking at my watch trying to tell time on this thing, and we're probably getting close to the end on the show. We should ask a couple more and call her about Goodways.
Rock and roll.
All right, let's go back to Jake here. Let's go CFR, a couple of horses that you might want to draw this week. Let's just start off on that. If you could pick a few for the rest of the weekend, or you already know what you have tonight. Do you know tomorrow afternoon? How far do you know ahead right now?
Just tonight. Just
tonight?
One perf at a time, yeah.
And so what do you have for tonight here?
I got a young horse at Calgary Stampede. It's called Caged Warrior. Yeah, it looks pretty good. They hauled him around all year, and I guess last couple of years. And I think he's a pretty good shot at a check here. Everyone's after that Stevie Nicks. Dylan Bilton's got him here tonight.
Rematch.
Yeah, it is for him, and that's perfect. Sunday would be great to see that horse beside my name. That's the one. Everybody's got the same idea, but that's the one. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Waze.
I was gonna say, is there a horse you don't want to draw?
You know what? I've been on pretty much,
Be honest.
probably 85% of these horses here, and I've been on a lot of them a lot. Them guys were laughing at Virgil last night, and saying how scary it was, and I said, well, I've strapped my shit to him 7 times. Like,
Yeah. Been 94, 90, 92. Like, so
you guys could have him for a while, Like,
are you happy that you guys got rid of Virgil, or do you want him back on the bareback ride?
Virgil, it didn't break my heart. He's getting old now, or older. I shouldn't say he's old. He's probably 13, 14. Them big horses like that, like the thing about Virgil, he's big and strong, and he's always been really strong, but he had a lot of timing to him. And them horses, when they get a little bigger and older, they just kind of quit jumping as high in the air, right? So your timing is less and less, and that's... So the older he gets, he's probably going to start being a little less undesirable.
Okay.
We were talking yesterday with Jared Parsons and Tyler Thompson about the process of picking bulls and how it turns into quite the boxing match at the Hannah Pro Rodeo.
Yeah,
Is that
you
the
guys
same-
actually boxed at the NFR in the bareback riding rooms. There's probably a good story there for after this question, Waste.
But yeah, so I was gonna ask, is it kind of the same for the bareback riders? You guys are pretty kosher when you're doing it, or is it get some?
Yeah,
get
you know,
heated
we are.
sometimes?
We all get along pretty good. And when I was younger, like Davey Shields Jr. was the director. And
Kyle probably, but those two would have been the two guys going the longest at that time.
Yeah, and they, they just pretty much told everybody else they sucked, and this is what we're taking. So, and it was good. They always pick good pins.
So now
no,
that's
these days,
yeah.
I guess that's my job now. But no, we don't. There's some arguments, but it ain't that bad. You know, it's a lot of these young guys. They actually don't pay a lot of attention to horses, so they're pretty willing to just listen to what everybody else has to say.
Listen to Dad.
Yeah, listen to Dad. Yeah.
Go ahead, Waste.
So Teddy mentioned the boxing matches at the end of the NFR. What is your record in those boxing matches?
Oh, I never did box at the NFR. No.
Really?
No.
Or are you not allowed to talk about
I
Fight
wasn't.
Club?
I wasn't there that year they did that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in the other arena. Yeah,
All right. Yeah?
but I sounded like it was pretty good.
Yeah, that sounded like there were some wild times.
Yeah.
I think Orrin had a good story about someone getting knocked out or something
Yeah.
one time we talked to him.
Forget it now. Okay, well, we'll just kind of wrap it up with the kind of game plans the rest of the week. Logan, you said you're third in the average. There's 4 rounds to go. Is it going at the rounds? I was talking to T. McLeod and Brady Chappell here, and T says they're going at the rounds every night. Like they're not worried about nothing. They just want to go win every night. For you, part of it's a little bit of the aggregate there, and you're still first. So I just want to kind of get a game plan that way.
Yeah, obviously trying to win something in the rounds, but also being smart about it. Try not to take any dumb throws, break any barriers. Probably 2 reps every night, keep them all down, and see where you end up. If you could win a few seconds, a few thirds, maybe win around, be in the average at the end. I just feel like that's a better way to approach it than, if I come across there and throw it every night, I'll probably win a round, and I'll probably miss one.
That's fair enough. Sorry, go ahead, Waste.
Yeah, I was going to say, for you, Lakota, you guys kick off tomorrow. What's the game plan heading into the first round? Are you going at it, or are you going to kind of take a bit of a safer approach? Or
I'm just gonna try to see my start and rope the neck, and hopefully it works out.
And for there's really no time to think on the breakaway side of things either, hardly, because it's such a quick.
It's fast.
Yeah, you got your 2 seconds, and you got to get a time down.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you're gonna have to be 2 to win any round, but just try to. I'm not gonna just go at them and try to be 1 in the first round or anything, but I'm just gonna try to get a good start and take my first good throw.
What's it like to only have 3 rounds? That's kind of probably a little bit of a different scenario. The 3 is almost like a longer rodeo. It's almost not really a final. Like it is, but it's pretty short.
We're the new kids, and we'll take what we can get.
I like it. All right.
Oh, just one more thing.
Yeah, give it.
Talk about the field of girls you're competing against. We have a pretty good stack of women who are great at breakaway roping in Canada, so it's going to be a tough competition.
I expect it to be very tough. Yeah, Kendall Pearson came in second, and she's in high school, but that girl ropes. And
Friend of the show.
yeah, they all rope. Taylor's been on here. Taylor ropes great. Bailey, Kylie, everybody. Jenna Dallin, she ropes. She's come from roping family. Everybody ropes good. So, yeah, there's only 6 of us, but I would definitely anticipate it to be tough, and hopefully we show well, and everyone likes it, and hopefully we'll be able to be back next year.
Anything else anyone wants to add? Thanks to anybody. We got to say thanks to the Bird family for sure for making sure the breakaway roping is here this year. You guys have been huge to make this happen.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Have you or have you not ever leg wrestled a member of my family?
Oh yeah, I have. And I did not win.
Have you won?
That was my welcome to the sales world in Denver, and I had way too much to drink, and I lost a lot of leg wrestles, and
One of them was to my mom.
yeah, she beat me
We could do a rematch
very
this
handily.
weekend.
Let's
Rematch for the ages.
Maybe Dallas. We'll do a rematch in Dallas. We'll do it for Donnie's retirement in Dallas. That could be the rematch. But the thing though is that I can't win because it wouldn't be good, right? Like you just can't.
That sounds like an excuse, Teddy boy.
I can't win.
You can't win because she's really good at leg wrestling. It's alarming, kind of.
Okay. Well, anything else, Logan?
I just want to say thanks to my dad with the horse training thing. Everything that I know came from him, and even lots of stuff that happens where I'll be like, I'm not sure what to do with this horse. He'll have a solution, so thought I better give him a shout out when we're talking about best horse trainer in the world or whatever. It all comes from Maynard.
I like it. Jake, anything else to add?
Oh, I guess I just gotta give a shout out to my family. I've got a pretty good backing, and support base there. My sponsors, Cinch Jeans and Pipeworks, they've been with me for a while, so they've definitely helped me out quite a bit. And yeah, well, thank you guys for doing this.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show today. Jake Vold, Logan Bird, Lakota Bird. Thanks to my co-host, Wasey Anderson. Thanks, everybody, for being here this afternoon. We've got our rodeo perf starting over there, 6 p.m. in the PV Mart Centrum. We'll be back here tomorrow with our final show, 3:30 p.m. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We'll